I really wanted to ignore this because my platform is for advocating for children. I have nothing to gain for participating in this drama narrative you have created, but now I'm getting doxxed, and the same person who canceled me for starting a conspiracy is starting conspiracies about me. You guys begged me to start a GoFundMe and were getting mad at me for not having one and saying I shouldn't have all this awareness and such a big platform and not have one, and I'm not a real advocate, and you were mad at me for not having one. I didn't want to. I waited weeks and tried to do everything else possible. I really didn't want to do one until that follower who convinced Kanol to let Totu and her mom come over to America and stay with them temporarily so she could get medical treatment from her doctors, and she needed help funding that and asked me to help her, and I supported that. And then it fell through because the staff and the mom had to come, but that's why I didn't make any noise about it. And I said, just everybody can wait until there's a concrete plan because we're still working out the details. I never lied. I haven't touched a penny, and I donated to it myself, and it says clear in there that if everything fails, it will be donated to a nonprofit that I will hold a vote for, and that is still true. So why are you crucifying me for something that I haven't even done yet? Clearly I can't please everyone. You're mad if I don't have one, you're mad if I do have one. It's $1,000. I really I'm good. You guys do whatever you want with it. I don't need it. We just settled one of our lawsuits against the cult that trafficked me, and I'm good. And no, I was never hiring a lawyer to fight their criminal case. That is ridiculous. I asked my dad how I could help this situation from a legal standpoint because he is an attorney and has a law firm, and he told me that there are foreign attorneys or international attorneys who live in America but are practiced in Azerbaijani law and can help me navigate their legal system, explain their court proceedings, give me those court records that you already have, and explain if it was even legal to ever bring Totu over for temporary medical care. That's what I want a clarification on. That's all. And it was a $10,000 retainer. For someone who claims to be all about evidence and facts, the amount of slander you have put on my name with zero evidence is shocking. And so today, her commenters and her narrative, she personally DM'd me this, is that the reason I started the GoFundMe is because I was in the middle of buying a house and I couldn't afford it. So I started the GoFundMe to pay for it, because once I started the GoFundMe, the sale ended, or I pulled out of it. I don't even know what they're saying, but you can't just go to a bank and say, hey, I'm going to start a GoFundMe, give me a loan to buy this house. They have to look at your income, your job history, your credit, how much is in your bank account, and $1,000 isn't enough for a down payment on a $500,000 house. I've been house shopping for a year now, and yes, we recently found a home we wanted and we're going to buy it. We made an offer, and then it failed inspection. That is why I pulled out of the deal. It has nothing to do with this. I don't know how you got there. So here's the inspection report. As you can see, the foundation is horrible. It's like a pile of rocks. And so, yeah, we really liked that house, but we had to withdraw our offer. It has nothing to do with Totu. And just so all of you Americans know who are blindly believing, her Turkish account is really different, and she's talks crap about you guys and talks about how this was a job she was hired to do and has to read off a script in 3 languages and multiple videos of her telling people to go get me and to get me banned. And that's why the same day she made that series, every Totu account was banned, and you guys didn't make that connection. Do you know where she's getting all her information from? Kanol. It's not weird to you? I didn't just do this randomly. I've been an exploited child advocate on my platform for years now. I'm not just a random person. I volunteer at a nonprofit that investigates organizations that exploit children and do this exact thing, expose them. I do that with my time instead of have a real job and make money because I want to help people. I never said I was perfect. Yes, I used a lot of emotion instead of logic because I'm a victim of human trafficking and child abuse and severe trauma myself. And I know what it's like to have nobody believe you or be a voice for you. So sure, yeah, I got too involved, but that's because I care a lot. Did I make some assumptions and some bad calls and videos in bad taste? Sure, yeah, I did. And as soon as I recognized that, I owned up to it. I corrected my mistakes. And as soon as I was able to work with translators, it was a lot easier for them to explain everything to me. But when I started doing this, there wasn't a single search result on the internet at all about Totu. And by myself, I had to interpret another country's social norms, religion, their laws, their criminal justice system, an entire family's family tree, and 3 generations of generational trauma, and also translate videos, articles, reports, social media, all by myself. That is not an easy task. Of course I made mistakes, but I always tried to stick to the truth, and I did a good job because she's saying the same stuff. And I always made sure to clarify that I do not work with other creators who are spreading a false narrative on purpose despite no proof about her being a boy, about the dad being dead, it being an Islamic state, and anybody who goes over there will be stoned. I was horrified when I heard that, and that it was in Iraq. That's why I didn't want to work with those creators. I separated myself from them. And as soon as I caught on to mistakes I had made, I owned up to them, immediately clarified them. And that's what's funny about this whole thing is her whole thing is that I don't know anything. I never once did a second of research. I never left the app to look anything up, translated anything. And then she proceeds to say verbatim what I have already been saying for weeks. And if she had been around back then, she could have helped us clear this all up, but she wasn't. And all those mistakes were made like within the first week. I even started talking about this when I didn't know anything, but since then I had everything very clear and always clarified it with one of the 3 translators I was working with who also spoke the language. I owned up to misinterpreting anything wrong, but verbatim I said exactly what she said. Totu is not adoptable. She lives with her mother at the shelter. Kanol never adopted her. This is all stuff I'd said. I said her dad is alive. He and the mom are kind of not good people. I said all of this. I went over the medical paperwork, but it was taken down. It's been on my YouTube. I never said I was going to kidnap her. The buy her thing was a joke, and it wasn't to buy her because I want her. It was to save her from a horrific situation. I would do anything to save a child from a horrific situation. Like, why are you guys missing? That's the point. I don't want her because I want her. No, it's not something to joke about, but it was an act of desperation, and I said it in the same sentence as mafia uncles and gangbanger friends. So I don't know why anyone took that serious. It was just, what can we do except nothing. The saddest thing though is that we really could have used each other and worked together and been a great team. Like, part of the reason I wanted to hire an international attorney was to find those exact records and court documents that you were reading from. If we had worked together, we could have accomplished that, but you decided to attack all of us for some reason instead, and attack us with lies. Has the audacity to say words matter, we're real people, and then go on a smear campaign about me for 5 days when I'm not even on the app to defend myself, and then take my page down so no one can prove everything she said wrong, talk about me on live for hours, tell all of her followers in Turkish that I'm trashing their culture and to go report me. Said a lot of things, and none of them were true. And I'm also a person, and you've also hurt me. But more importantly, you have hurt the children we were trying to help. I know it's hard to believe that there are people on this app with integrity that have good intentions, but there are good people out there. And instead you have turned this into a drama farming circus, and you have more videos about me than Totu on your profile, so that says it all. If distracting everybody from the real issue here was your goal, it certainly worked.